gonna go in there, I'm gonna hurt David Morrell as much as possible. More than anybody's ever hurt him and more than anybody will hurt. He's never gonna forget David Benavidez after this.
I'm going go in there, I'm going hurt David Morrell as much as possible, more than anybody's ever hurt him, and more than anybody will hurt. He's never going to forget David Benavidez after this fight. I'm David Benavidez, and David Morrell are set for war this Saturday, February 1st at the T-Mobile Arena live on PBC. If the stakes couldn't be higher, the winner of this battle will become the mandatory challenger for the victor of URBBV versus Dmitry Bivol on February 22nd. This isn't just a fight, it's a career-defining moment for both men. Music. Scared Benavidez has been waiting for a shot at Canelo Alvarez for years. He chased the Mexican superstar, called him out, and practically begged for the fight, but Canelo always found another route. Now, Benavidez is done waiting. He's moved up to light heavyweight, ready to carve his own path, and Morrell is the first major test. If he wins in dominant fashion, not only does he get a shot at the undisputed champion, but he also puts even more pressure on Canelo, forcing him to acknowledge his existence. For Morrell, this is the moment he's been waiting. Applause, for he's young, undefeated, and confident. But the truth is he hasn't been tested the way Benavidez has. His toughest fight was against Ravo Katic, a solid but unspectacular opponent. Morrell won by decision, but it wasn't a dominant performance. He outlanded Katic by only 32 punches over the 36-minute fight. That's a problem when you're about to face a relentless, high-volume puncher like Benavidez. Morrell knows the challenge ahead, which is why he's trying to get inside Benz's head. At a recent media workout in Miami, Morrell mockingly called Benavidez Robocop, taking shots at his movement and agility. Music. Really, it was a clever jab, but Benavidez isn't new to this. He's dealt with slick and elusive fighters before, most notably Caleb Plant and Demetrius Andrade. Both were supposed to be too skilled for Benavidez, but he broke them down, battered them, and forced them to wilt under his pressure. Unlike Plant and Andrade, Morrell isn't impossible to hit. Katic proved that by landing nearly 30% of his power punches. That's a concerning statistic when facing Benavidez, a fighter with one of the best connect percentages in boxing at 37.9%. Only Bam Rodriguez at 39.5% has a higher accuracy rate. That means Benavidez doesn't just throw a lot, he lands a lot, and when he lands, opponents feel every shot. David's going to give him a beating, man. To be honest with you, well, I think David, it's going to stop him, maybe like in the 9-10 round. Maybe if he would have just hold on a little bit more like about a year or two. He's a dangerous fighter, though we're not underestimate him. David is training super hard. David right now, super motivated mentally, physically, and Benav's strategy is no secret. He applies suffocating pressure, digs to the body, and wears his opponents down. Against former WBC and lineal light heavyweight champion Alexander Gazik, he landed a ridiculous 46.7% of his power punches. That's an insane number at the highest level of boxing. If he can replicate that against Morrell, it won't be a long night. Morrell, however, has advantages of his own. He's younger, fresher, and has a foreign reach advantage. He's going to try to keep the fight at a distance, using his jab and movement to frustrate Benavidez. The question is, can he stay disciplined? Because at some point Benavidez is going to force him into a firefight, and that's where things get dangerous. And because he has less muscle, he doesn't get tired. Shout out to his stamina, crazy stamina. But Morrell's about to knock lights out, knock loose, and it's going to be a horrible loss for David Benavidez. He was projecting, and for no reason. He told David the tension between these two is real. This isn't some manufactured rivalry for sales. Benavidez has made it clear he wants to punish Morrell. He doesn't just want to win, he wants to send a message. He wants to show the world that he's one of the best, that he belongs at the top, and that nobody, not Canelo, not Bivol, not BBV, can avoid him anymore. But emotions can be a double-edged sword. Benavidez had the same level of hatred for Caleb Plant, and while he dominated, he made some tactical mistakes. The main theme right now for this fight is that you're the one that's experienced. He has a deep amateur pedigree, but it's you who has the experience. Do you see that fight like this, or do you just see it just as another opponent? I don't really see the amateur as any. I don't see that as, this is not an amateur fight, this is a professional. This is championship fight, 12 rounds, so he might have an advantage. He barely used his jab, landing only 30 jabs over 12 rounds. That can't happen against Morrell. If he just walks walks forward throwing power punches. He'll give Morrel openings. Caddick used his jab well against Morrel, setting up his offense intelligently. Benavidez needs to do the same. Morrel, for all his talent, has never been in a fight like this. He's never been hit by someone like Benavidez. He's never had to survive against a relentless pressure fighter who doesn't fade. There's a massive difference between looking sharp against Kid and surviving a dogfight with Benavidez. No, I mean it's only like every time everybody's running and I'm over 175. Let me see, 175 will happen, you know what I mean. Benavidez, on the other hand, has seen it all. He's fought world champions, undefeated contenders, and tricky technicians. He's been in deep waters and has always come out on top. He has more experience, more power, and more proven ability at the highest level. If he can take Morrel's best shots and keep coming forward, it's hard to see Morrel surviving 12 rounds. But what if Morrel is special? What if he can withstand the pressure, stick to his game plan, and expose Benavidez his defensive flaws? What if he can use his footwork and reach to frustrate Benavidez, making him miss and countering him cleanly? If Morrel can do that, he's not just a prospect anymore, he's a legitimate threat to the division's top names. What would you think about a David Morrel-Jr versus David Benavidez fight? Man, that'd be faux crackers, bro. Kid from the Olympics ain't no joke, though he's coming up fast, and he's ready. A lot of energy that way. The heck of a fight. I mean, stop chasing Canelo, bro. There's also the elephant in the room, Benavidez's weight. He's been huge for 168 pounds, and the move to 175 was inevitable. But does that mean he'll be stronger? Or will the extra weight slow him down? And what about his stamina? At super middleweight, he could drown opponents with activity. Will he be able to keep that same energy against naturally bigger opponents? Morrel's camp believes Benavidez is too aggressive for his own good. They think he's reckless and can be countered. Morrel isn't a defensive wizard, but he's sharp enough to land if Benavidez gets careless. If he lands cleanly, will Benavidez feel the difference between super middleweight power and light heavyweight power, or styles? But in particular, he's faced guys like that Demetrius Andra and Caleb Plant. Those guys are wizards in the ring. They're very hard to figure out. Demetrius Andra is very unorthodox, kind of hard to figure out. Then you have David Morrel-Jr. walked through the MGM Grand like a man with a mission. There was no over-the-top entourage, no unnecessary distractions, just him, a few trusted people, and his thoughts. But in his mind, everything was about to change. He was days away from the fight that could alter his entire career. On Saturday night, he would step into the ring against David Benavidez, a fighter most men feared, a fighter labeled the Mexican Monster. But Morrel didn't see a monster, he saw a music opportunity. This is my chance to show everyone who the real boogeyman is, Morrel said, his voice filled with conviction. He wasn't just saying it for effect, he meant it. The boxing world saw Benavidez as one of the most dangerous men in the sport, but Morrel had never backed down from a challenge. At 27 years old, he knew a win over Benavidez would change everything. It would make him a household name. It would put him one step closer to becoming the undisputed light heavyweight champion. It would force the world to respect Cuban boxing at a whole new level. The stakes couldn't be higher. The winner of this fight was guaranteed a shot at whoever emerged victorious between BBV and Demetrius on February 22nd. That fight would crown the undisputed light heavyweight king. That was the dream, the goal, the reason both men had taken this fight. But for Morrel, it wasn't just about titles and legacy. It was about something bigger. He was doing this for Cuba. He was doing this for every Cuban fighter who never got the chance to prove themselves on the biggest stage. He was carrying the weight of his country on his shoulders. If I knock him out, it opens the door for the Cuban people. Morrel said, I feel great. My team, my coach, they believe in me. When they tell me you got this, I know I got this. I feel grateful for this opportunity, Olive. I think I want to fight the most dangerous fighters. I want to fight the best of the best, because at the end of the day, bro, I'm here. I'm not going to waste my time and not, get the respect. His promoter, Louis Dubuisser, wasn't holding anything back. He had watched Morrel train. He had seen him work, and he had no doubt in his mind about what was coming. We're ready to fight. We're going to knock this out. I'm telling you, Duba said. The confidence in his voice was undeniable. He had been waiting for this moment for years. There was a time when this fight seemed impossible. Nearly 5 years ago, Samson Lukowitz, Ben's promoter, had laughed off the idea. He had seen Morrel dominate Lennox Allen in just his third professional fight, and made it clear Benavidez would never fight him. You're only going to see Benavidez in pictures, Lukowitz had told the